winner of the New Jersey Press Association's Most Innovative Award.
Welcome back to Greater Media Broadcast News. I'm Susie Shia, bringing you the top headlines in Central New Jersey. Here's what you need to know. Conjuring spirits, sports betting blocked, challenging Pallone, Route 1 baby, and remembering Sandy. This Halloween, the streets will be teeming with monsters, superheroes, and the ever-classic ghosts. But while the costumes will be put away at the end of the night, there are those who deal with the supernatural on a daily basis. In this week's papers, we take a look at the mediums, clairvoyants, and psychics that are living among us. While there is quite a bit of skepticism surrounding the practice of speaking to the dead and predicting the future, some psychics say what matters is how they can provide spiritual guidance and help make lives better. For the spirited debate, check out your Greater Media newspaper today. And here's Mark Rosman with more headlines.
A group of Freehold Township residents who defeated a proposal for a large CVS pharmacy near their homes a decade ago were recently surprised to learn a new application proposing a CVS at the same location is expected to come before municipal officials in the near future. In 2001, an applicant went before the Freehold Township Zoning Board with a proposal to build a pharmacy at the corner of Route 537 and Redwood Lane, across from the entrance to the Raintree Village Shopping Center. The land was zoned for professional uses, and a pharmacy was not a permitted use. The Zoning Board did not grant a use variance for the application. In 2013, the Township Committee rezoned the land for business uses, and a pharmacy is now a permitted use. A different applicant will appear before the Planning Board to propose the new CVS. Residents of the neighborhood off Redwood Lane said this week they have concerns, including issues with traffic, noise, and drainage, about the construction of a large business so close to their homes. Municipal officials said the residents will be able to make their concerns known when the application has a hearing before the Planning Board. For more information about this issue, see this week's news transcript.
A local father helped deliver his child on Route 1 of all places. Here's Kathy Chain with the dramatic story.
A common saying is that the second baby comes faster than the first one. For North Brunswick resident Chuck Jacobson and his wife Sarah, they found out how true this was during the early morning hours of October 10th. Around 1:35 a.m., the Jacobsons welcomed their second child, Zoe Michelle, in the family's Hyundai Sonata at the intersection of Route 1 and Riders Lane in New Brunswick and Route 2 Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital. She weighed 8 pounds and 11 ounces. Their first child, Jake, took 14 hours of labor. Baby Zoe Michelle arrived in less than 2 hours. Chuck said when he delivered his baby girl, it was a mix of shock and relief. He was just happy that mom and baby were healthy. Now Chuck said he is considering getting a vanity license plate that reads delivery room. For more, go to gmnews.com.
And here's a roundup of headlines you need to know. A federal judge issued an order suspending a new state law that would allow sports betting at racetracks and casinos. This comes after Chris Christie signed into law the bill that the state legislature overwhelmingly approved. Supporters of the law, including Monmouth Park officials, hope the judge will reverse his decision. School officials unanimously upheld the indefinite suspensions with pay for members of the coaching staff at the Sayreville War Memorial High School. The vote also included a 50% reduction in annual coaching stipends for all 9 coaches. These decisions took place as an investigation continues into the alleged hazing scandal. 4 Edison police officers have been indicted on charges of conspiracy and official misconduct. The 4 allegedly planned retaliation against a North Brunswick police officer because of a drunk and driving charge. U.S. Representative Frank Pallone Jr. is hoping to withstand a challenge from Republican and Libertarian candidates in next week's general election. Republican Anthony Wilkinson and Libertarian candidate Dorit Goikhman are looking to unseat the 13-term congressman in the race to represent the 6th District in the House. For more on these candidates, see your Greater Media newspaper today. And here's an update on the local sports scene.
Well, I know we're in the middle of football season right now, but the days are getting colder and shorter. College basketball is right around the corner. The Rutgers men's and women's basketball teams already practicing, and recently held their annual media days at the Rack in Piscataway. Let's start with the RU Women, a veteran group led by a veteran head coach in Vivian Stringer, and they should make an impact right away in the Big Ten. This is one of the Scarlet Knight teams that belong in this league. They've always been in the mix for league titles. Last year, they didn't make the NCAA tournament, but they did go on a nice run of the WNIT to win the championship. One of the players who led that was Tyler Scaife, the 5'9" guard from Little Rock, Arkansas, who hit the game-winning shot in the WNIT final, going coast to coast with just a couple seconds left against UTEP. They've got a number of veteran players, and they should make an impact right away in the Big Ten. For the men, it's another story. They're just looking to get better. 12-21 a year ago, and the Big Ten is not going to be any picnic, not with 6 of the 14 teams in the league ranked in the top 25. But look, head coach Eddie Jordan knew, besides having Miles Mack and Kadeem Jack, that this was going to be a rebuilding project, and he knows it's going to take some time for the Scarlet Knights. One thing he'd like to do is play bigger. His team is doing that in the preseason. He's got 6'11", 275-pounder Shaquille Dorson out of the Netherlands, who can play up at the rim. And Eddie Jordan would like to see his team push the tempo a little more in a Big Ten that's known for a more traditional half-court type of game. Jordan hopes his team can be successful by mixing it up a bit. We'll see. Time will tell. I'm Mike Pavlichko on 1450 WCTC and WCTCAM.com.
There were 2 big high school sporting events last week. First, the Monmouth County Cross Country Championships were held at Homedale Park, and there was the most anticipated football game of the decade. The clash between undefeated powers Red Bank Catholic and Manalapan played out at Count Basie Field in Red Bank.
It was Red Bank Catholic freshman Caitlin O'Hare who showed her heels to the field during the early stages of the girls' championship race. Behind her, a long train of Harriers were beginning a journey they hoped would lead to a high finish or a personal best time on a Homedale Park course that would test their limits. One runner stood out in the field, and that was defending champion Marin Werner of Homedale, who had the course to herself in the home stretch, becoming a back-to-back champion. Red Bank Regional's Lauren Zapone settled for second place behind the Speedy Hornet for a second straight year. Then came Rumson Fairhaven's Rachel Leonard in third, who was followed by RBC's Mary-Kate McNamara and O'Hare, who escorted 5 Caseys into the top 10 and a successful defense of their team championship. An overflow crowd was on hand at Count Basie Field in Red Bank to witness the battle to determine the Shore's top football team. Fans from both sides were prepared for a showdown. Favored RBC showed early why it was the consensus pick when quarterback Eddie Hahn hooked up with Nick Lubisher on this third down pass. Lubisher broke free on an attempted tackle and outran the Brave secondary to the end zone to complete a 75-yard scoring play less than 2 minutes into the game. RBC struck on the ground as well on this short burst by Mike Cordova. This fourth down pass from Hahn to Lubisher again was a dagger in the Caseys' 35-7 win. Manalapan did not go quietly into the night as quarterback Dan Anarella connected with receiver Gerard Hodge Grant on this long touchdown pass. The RBC defense stood tall, taking away Manalapan's productive running game and leading to the victory. Tim Morris, Greater Media Newspapers.
Tomorrow marks the anniversary of Superstorm Sandy. Adam Jacko gives us the update on how towns are doing 2 years after the storm ripped through New Jersey.
It has been 2 years since Superstorm Sandy ravaged the Jersey Shore, and recovery efforts have varied from town to town. In Middletown, a robust recovery is now being fortified by mitigation efforts in Port Monmouth and a levee study in North Middletown. Projects in Leonardo and Belford are also on the way. The borough of Keyport, another Bayshore town, has seen the pace of its initially sluggish recovery increase. In Oceanport, the recovery remains ongoing as the Borough Council searches for a new home for Borough Hall, which was severely damaged by the storm. OEM director Buzz Baldanza said it would be at least 8 years before the borough truly recovers from the storm. Further inland, both Sayreville and South River have benefited from the state Blue Acres buyout program, through which the state purchases Sandy-damaged homes at pre-Sandy market values, demolishes them, and then deed restricts the property as open space. The Blue Acres program has also begun in East Brunswick as well, with the first 7 closings taking place last week. Old Bridge is also preparing for Blue Acres, with 48 of 50 damaged homes on the state's radar. See our series on Sandy and whether or not we are better prepared through your local Greater Media newspapers.
First, there was Jackie Lee, and now another New Jersey native is making her way to the top on NBC's The Voice. Here's Taylor Lear.
Having millions of viewers nationwide watching you sing seems like a fantasy, but is now a reality for 21-year-old Alessandra Castronovo of Millstone Township, as she competes on NBC's The Voice. The show is a singing competition that puts vocalists across America head-to-head until only one is left as the winner of the competition. Castronovo has lived in Millstone for 8 years and was always surrounded by music during her childhood. Overcoming stage fright is something that the 21-year-old singer has done successfully with the help and support of her family and friends. Preparing for knockout rounds of competition this week, Castronovo said she is happy with her experience so far and is looking forward to advancing her singing career in the future.
For more in-depth coverage and additional stories, see your Greater Media newspaper today. Share your thoughts at facebook.com/Greater Media Broadcast News. I'm Suzy Shia. See you next time. And from all of us at Greater Media, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween!